Hey folks, welcome to Affiliate Nerd Out. I am your nerderator, Dustin House, spreading that good word about affiliate marketing. You're going to find me nerding out with industry folks on LinkedIn Live on Tuesdays and Thursdays and anywhere you get podcasts, so please consider subscribing. My nerd guest today is Brett Owens, founder of Afluencer, which is my go-to platform for working with influencers. And today, Brett and I are going to be nerding out. So welcome to the Nerdatorium, Brett.
Thanks, Dustin. Appreciate it.
Awesome. If you have questions about influencer marketing, affiliate marketing, please feel free. Drop that Q&A in the box. If you have some heckles for us, would just like to say hi, do that too. We don't mind. We've got thick skin. Come on in. Brett, now it's your time to shine. Tell me, who are you?
Man, I'm still trying to figure that out, Dustin. But as you know, I first interacted with you on the affiliate world, so that's how I guess I got into this nerdatorium with you here. So I started a company in 2012 called Lead Dino, where we did affiliate tracking, and we built that for another software company that we had and spun it out into its own entity. And then in late 2013, we did an app for a little company called Shopify, and Shopify went crazy, and we were able to tailor a lot of our app towards that e-commerce world. So a store on Shopify would install the Lead Dino app, and then they would get their affiliate tracking, and affiliates would be able to grab their links and share it on social media. And that was early in the days of integrating that all into social media. So the Facebook, the Twitter, and then Instagram came on the scene, right, and all that good stuff. So had that going for a time being. And then the big question we always got from our clients is, how do I find affiliates? And then that question later turned into, how do I find influencers? And our answer was always either, well, you got to kind of find them yourself, or, well, here's a few that we have on our end. And it just came to be a bigger and bigger thing, that affiliate and influencer recruitment. So from that, I took a little in-house network that we had built, spun that out into my current company called Afluencer in 2019. And here we are. So we've got over 19,000 influencers who use our app. And then we also have about 4,000 or 5,000 brands who use our app to post collabs and to find these influencers and to kind of match up and meet everything from an affiliate offer to more of a classic or currently classic influencer pay-per post or pay-per-reel type thing.
Beautiful. I had a prospective client call the other day that was using Lead Dino, and it's always puts a smile on my face, leading us back into our relationship where we met maybe 5-6 years ago at Affiliate Summit and realized that we're basically neighbors in the digital world, you being in Sacramento and me up in the Placerville area. So that was a fun tie-in to our relationship. Then on top of it, we're both baseball nerds as well, which helps us hang out. And it's weird how the affiliate industry, how many people love baseball. I don't know exactly what that association with affiliate marketing is, but super popular for
Moneyball of the online marketing world, right?
Well, I guess that's right. You can find out more about Brett. I put his link to his profile and a link to his site, Afluencer. Tell us more about Afluencer and what you do there.
Yeah, so it's my company, so I kind of do everything or what's needed. But our platform is geared for really to just make these things easy. Influencer marketing being kind of a newer thing, and everyone's trying to get their heads around it. And I meet with a lot of our newer brands who come online, and they'll say, "Geez, I got you," almost shamefully, like, "Hey, I'm new to this." I'm like, "Don't worry, everyone's new. You're actually earlier than most because you're here already." And we kind of share like what's working today, and a lot of things that are working are partnering with sort of these buzzwords of nano influencers, micro influencers. So these are people who may post, for example, on Instagram. Someone may post only about beauty products. You may have 20,000 or so followers, which is not a celebrity level, but it's a really good potential partner for someone with a skincare product. So they can partner with this person, ship them some product, and then have them post, or better yet, record a video from the unboxing to using it on a daily basis. the advantage of partnering with people like this is that their followers are very engaged. They are living on their content every day. They're very active, commenting, liking everything that they're posting. And that's a really great way for especially up and coming brands who are struggling to get out there, and they're doing the money ball, the Billy Bean thing, and they're scratching their head saying, Google AdWords are so expensive. Facebook is so expensive.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to compete with the Dodgers and the Yankees of the world? Yeah, right. So we've got to be smart. Got to be the Tampa Bay Rays of the situation. Go in there and find these values. So that's where we're seeing a lot of value today, is with the smaller but more focused. So small but mighty from a impact standpoint.
Beautiful points, and maybe help the audience define. I'm even confused on like what micro, nano, and like the numbers of followers, how they get categorized. Can you give me a good description of how you see it?
Yeah, the way we see it, and we kind of draw the line just to make it easy to think about, from 1,000 to 10,000, we'll call them nanos on the follower side. And then when I say followers, we're kind of using Instagram as our statistic of choice here. Instagram is kind of the main platform. So we're looking at Instagram, not that the followers on TikTok don't count, but we're going to say, okay, if they've got 8,000 on Instagram, probably a similar amount on TikTok, and we're going to go in the nano influencer bucket. Above 10 up to, you could call it 50, you could call it 100,000. I would put those in the micro influencer. So somebody with 40,000 followers, then we're going with the micro. And again, using Instagram as our base, but they often have other accounts, right? They've got TikTok, maybe even Facebook going, things of that nature. And then over 100K is where you're getting into the macro, the mega. That's I wouldn't even bother with the terminologies there, but 100K and up, it's kind of its own thing. Million up is almost more celebrity than anything else. So they're getting their followers more from their own fame. As marketers, we're looking downstream because we want specificity. That's where the value is. We want focus on that area. So we're looking at primarily the nanos and the micros, so the people with that 10,000 up to 100,000 or so.
Fantastic. And as they grow, you're also growing with them, which is my favorite part of influencer marketing, getting somebody in that nano space and starting a relationship and connection, and doing some small sponsorships, or even on a CPA level, a commission level with them. You get to grow with them and as their audience grows, and that's a really unique and fun thing to do when you have a brand that's growing together. So great definitions on what those numbers mean. And when you're talking about, am I still with you?
Yeah, I see you here. We're jumping on the connection, but yeah, you're good. Yeah.
Okay. So tying into that, like you mentioned, like Instagram was like the standard of it. Now, do you just take like the most followers that you have, and that's like where you're categorized? Because if I have 15,000 on Instagram, but I have 75,000 on TikTok, are you going off the TikTok and categorizing me there?
Yeah, that's a little bit of a gray zone still being figured out. Luckily, with the 1575, you're still in micro territory.
Okay.
What we use, I would say, more as a way to, because the definitions are definitions, right? It only matters to the extent of what we're going to actually have to pay to work with that person. So to your initial point, Dustin, on the CPA, we really encourage brands, if you've got an affiliate program going, let's see if we can get some nano influencers, to your point, people to grow with, where we're going to say, hey, let's set the bar from a follower requirement count. We want to set that modest at maybe 1,000 or more followers. So we're looking for the people with 1,000 or 2,000 followers who are happy to do things on a commission basis. They're not ready to get paid yet, but they want to do brand deals. Let's start working with them now. And again, we can grow together, right? So that's kind of where we think about that. Where we get to your person with the 15,000 Instagram, the 75,000 TikTok, that's a case where the way we like to gear things is to say, hey, here's what we're looking for. And if they've got that TikTok presence, they're probably good at videos, which happens to also work really well on Instagram now, with Mark Zuckerberg being obsessed with catching up with TikTok. So the videos get preferential treatment in terms of the Instagram algorithm. So we've got someone with the 75K on TikTok. That's awesome. But we also want to make sure as marketers, we're setting the rates. We're not spending with the Dodgers and the Yankees. We say, hey, here's what we want to pay for a third baseman, and this is what we're paying. So we post that as a range in what we call a collab, where we can say, hey, we've got up to $300 to pay for a video. That way, if the 75,000 follower TikToker applies, 300 is the rate that we've already have a handshake deal on. So that's how we kind of take care of that, versus maybe asking them for their rate sheet and they say, oh, hey, well, I've got this on Instagram, but this on TikTok, and it'll be $1,000. You never know. It could be a slow week for them. So we always like to kind of dictate what our budget range is on our end and say, hey, here's what we're looking to pay, whether it's commission or pay per reel or pay per post or anything.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a smart technique from the affiliate manager standpoint, because a lot of the times the merchants that are working on your guys' platform, it might be the affiliate manager that's doing double duty, right? And they've got to make hard decisions on where to utilize some, what I like to call exploratory budget, right? Where you might get $2,000 a month to try to get into the influencer game, or spend it on sponsorships appropriately. Maybe they could get up to $5,000 to spend this on, but maybe that falls upon somebody else's bucket. But what do you think is a good strategy? What can you get away with for a month? If you have some kind of e-commerce product, what's a good budget to come to you guys with? And work with 5-10 influencers a month?
Yeah, I think you can get a lot done with $500 a month, $1,000
Really?
a month. Yeah, absolutely. So the first way I like to think about it is from the affiliate program that we know everybody usually has, right? And to your example with the affiliate manager who's coming to us, and maybe they're only posting the affiliate program, and oftentimes I'll hop on Zoom and we'll do a screen share, we'll review, and the person will ask, what do I need to do to improve this? It's working, but I would like more applicants. And I say, well, your posting looks great. We can get more by offering pay per post. And we don't necessarily need to break the bank. I mean, even if you can add $10 per post, $20, $50 per post.
Wow.
That is just going to open up. What it does is it just puts your offer above the other commission only. So you've now jumped above those. And like anything, I mean, people just love to be paid upfront in this world.
Yeah.
As marketers, we love the affiliate model, right? Because then we don't pay out of pocket early on. But on the other end of the fence, it's the other way. They want to be paid upfront. This is a nice kind of happy medium where they can get some money upfront. If we want to offer commission, we can do that. But we can get attention. And again, we kind of jump above if we're offering, $20, $30, $50 a post. It doesn't have to be a ton of money. So then if we're looking to do 5 or 10 per month, yeah, I mean, if we're looking at the nano end, we could do $50 for 5 influencers. If we're looking up the micros, we have customers who will do videos. So they'll get 5 or 10 micros to do videos, $200 each. And we're talking people with 20,000, 30,000, 50,000 followers.
Yeah.
They're creating the video, they're posting it on their end. And then a lot of times you can even gear it where you can repurpose the video if you give them credit for it as well. So yeah, you can get started with a pretty modest budget. And the nice thing is it gives you a great way to scale your affiliate program as a first step before we really start throwing out the pay per post money as well.
For sure. And I think it's super important for those managers on the platform to try to get them into the affiliate program as well for the future. Because if you just do one hybrid post for, spend $50, $100 for one influencer, you're going to have them in their program for a long time. And if that campaign works, they might be willing to do it for free the next time. And I've seen so many instances of this, of, influencers clicking on the reality of what affiliate marketing is and really absorbing what the power of it is in the long run. And they might even change their model in the future just because of that. So super important to get those hybrids going, get your foot in the door with some upfront money, and then start, getting them to do more in the future once you start building that relationship, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's an old trick I used to use back in the lead dino days, and this is before the influencer model. But I always wanted to recruit affiliates on a commission basis. That was always a tough cold pitch. But one thing we would do, we go to the bloggers. Remember bloggers when they were the be all end all, right? So this is I'm old enough to remember, as you are, bloggers, right? So we would go up to the blogger, and I would not ask them to join our affiliate program. I would ask them what it costs to buy an ad
Yes.
on their site, and then I would look at the cheapest ad placement, and I would buy the cheapest ad placement if it met my budget, and then I would give them an affiliate link, and that was my goal, was to pay for an ad and pay once,
Yeah.
to be able to get the conversation open, and then hopefully have them get some sales. And then ideally pay them every month. So even if I'm sending them $75 a month, they're now on the payroll. They're used to that recurring revenue coming from us. And then they're looking for ways to increase that. And of course, I can throw them another ad every so often. But that's kind of the goal, was to buy the minimum you needed to show that you're legit.
Yes.
And then get them interested in the affiliate offer and believing in it.
Such a smart idea and way of going about things, and I've used that 100 different times myself. Always ask, as an affiliate manager, always ask for their media kit to start off the conversation, because that gets the best answers. That will get you the most answers, especially from that blogger community that might be struggling to try to get some revenue coming in. We have a guest, Courtney. She asks, do you ask them what they estimate they can produce? Is that a good practice, Brett?
Yes, Courtney. Yeah. So the way I gear things is I've got our collab, and again, that's the description of what we're looking for. And in my case, I want videos done. So we're looking for an influencer who can produce a reel, and I just kind of specify on that. And then our range of what we're looking to pay, right? Whether it's up to $100 if we're doing the nano influencers, or if we're looking at the micros, where we're looking for up to 100,000 followers, then I would go up to 300 or so.
Okay.
So then the sort of workflow is someone will apply. I can then evaluate get their analytics and all that in terms of engagement rate, content. Looks like a good fit or potential fit. I accept them. That opens up the direct message path between us. And then I've got an auto reply that goes back, and I share this with our users so that they can adopt it as well. Because then I kind of throw it back to them and say, hey, let me know what you're thinking. And I like to leave it open-ended. The creative is, giving them creative control. I would prefer them to have creative control. Mm-hmm. But I say, hey, let me know what you're thinking and what you can do in terms of platform. I kind of leave it open-ended so that they can come back and say, oh, cool, I can do Instagram, I can do TikTok, I can do Instagram stories. And then I can come back with my counter offer and say, oh, great, we can offer you our $300, which is our max for this. Because I kind of want their max offer first in terms of what they can do.
Okay.
And then I'll come in with what we can offer in terms of our range, knowing that they're probably looking at the upper end of the range. So if they can come back with their best offer, I can often counter with our best offer, which is the top of the range.
Very, very savvy. Negotiate in this market. Always never give anybody what they're asking for unless you think there's some true value in it and they can actually produce that. But in terms of what they estimate, I've had so many occasions where people would say, oh, I'm going to get you 50,000 views in this, and it comes nowhere even close to that. Like, how do you measure whether or not what they're saying that they can produce or they estimate would actually become reality?
So ahead of time, the best proxy, and admittedly, it's not great.
Okay.
That's why we're looking for value here again, right? Because we're looking to buy a lot of high potential reels for as little money as we can and have a bunch of opportunities here that instead of dumping $1,000 into Facebook or AdWords that we know is going to come back with a very low-ish return, right? We're chopping that up and we're saying, okay, well, $100 here, $100 here. $100 may not deliver anything, but we're looking for the $100 that can deliver a lot, right? And that's the nice thing about this space, is that you've got that potential for those old asymmetric returns that you just don't see on more mature marketing channels like AdWords or Facebook today. So that's what we're looking for. Now, the best leading indicator of how someone could do is going to be their engagement rate. That's going to be the number of likes and comments that they get on average on a given post. It's not perfect, but it does show how active their followers are in terms of their content. In my experience, that's by far the most important thing, is to find an engagement rate that's average or better yet above average, very good or great for that person with that number of followers. So generally speaking, as you increase your followers, then it's no longer just Dustin, my mom, my grandma following me, right? Who like everything that I do. I now have random people out there who are more discerning and may ignore me, right? So my engagement rate goes down as my number of followers increases. So we like to measure that with respect to your number of followers. That's the best proxy. It's no guarantee, but there is kind of a reverse guarantee that if you do see the low engagement rate, don't bother, because it's probably going to fall flat on its face because nobody's reading that, right? So there is that. So just avoiding the low engagement rates, you can kind of place your educated wagers, if you will, or investments as smartly as possible.
Yeah. And yes, I am a follower of you, and I know my mom's a follower of me. So hi, Mom. Just wanted to say hi. And I loved how your tools that you have available on the platform can help me eyeball whether or not this is a stinker or not. Like, you give me enough information to evaluate that person on my own. And that's something that just comes with experience of the follow-up question here from Courtney. How do you measure these results? You test and give your best efforts and throw it out there, figure out what's working and what's not. But ultimately, you're looking at sales. Like if you're trying to get something here, any other measurements that you find super valuable in this space, sir?
I think you said it, Dust. I mean, it's all about sales at the end of the day. So that's what we're looking for. So often we will encourage our marketers to plug in their affiliate links, right? So even if you're not paying a commission, to the best of the ability, to have the influencer use this link. Are you able to track every sale through the links? No, of course, because whether you can put a link on an Instagram post or you swipe on a story. So it does get funny in terms of that. But you've got the ability to do links for e-commerce. You can do discount codes, right? And then that can track through the shopping cart. And of course, not everyone uses the code, but again, it's better than nothing. So you like to see some activity coming in, knowing that there's hopefully other sales generated.
Yes.
But you're looking to see something come in, right? So that's generally how we're measuring. We don't do the tracking ourselves. It's previous companies, it's the lead dinos of the world that do them. But now to be honest, there's a million of those platforms now, so you can get a tracking link and use that. The other is kind of, if depending on what your level of traffic is, many Shopify stores we work with, they're just getting ramped up. So I say, hey, pick a day and then look at your sales on that day, your traffic. Sure. You can see if it moves the needle, especially if you're on, you're getting started out, and you can see where you get the bumps and so on and so forth. Then from the influencer side, what we're saying is everything's on a one collab or one engagement basis. So we're paying $100 for this reel. It's one time. However, we would love for this to work so that we can work together again, right? And then if it works, then we can, repeat with that person. If it does not, thank you. Let's stay in touch. But honestly, we're probably not going to stay in touch. Yeah. That's going to be that. Or if they want to do something, they want to keep using their affiliate link, cool. But we're looking for, keep trying people. And then the people that work, you keep them on board. And every other month, maybe every month, we're working with them.
Yes. And one other thing I'll throw in there is vanity code tracking. Works great with influencers. Give them a specific coupon code that they can utilize at checkout for the end users that they end up bringing in. So if it's Dustin 20 for 20% off, and that influencer tells their audience about that, then you can track exactly how many sales that influencer brought in from their word of mouth marketing there. If you aren't doing like a solid tracking there. Courtney said thank you, and I want to say thank you for your engagement. Appreciate you being here, Courtney, and listening. So getting back to the topic of Afluencer, what what kind of merchants are you working with on the platform?
E-commerce is very prevalent, popular. It's a great fit. So we're talking from the beauty, skincare, fashion, anything physical that can be shipped, that can be shown off by someone really translates great on a social media and is very great potential, shall we say, at least with influencers. So it could be health, wellness, fitness. Those are also big on those platforms. Travel is a big one. You're starting to see more finance, these types of things. But generally speaking, more e-commerce, more B2C,
Yes.
consumer goods. But I would say the general thing is something that can be shipped. It's bought online. Those are all really
Yeah.
great
And it
paths for influence.
and it doesn't mean you can't do it with a SaaS product or a B2B product. You can give your best attempt in there. You're not going to find a ton of influencers that are specializing in that space, but you might find some winners as well, and it's worth giving it a shot for a couple of months if you have those kinds of products as well. There might be a very interesting audience mix. I've had some success with some SaaS products on your guys' platform before using it. So uh, don't worry about giving it a shot. Tell me tell me how did Afluencer come about? Like how did you pick this name?
Sure. Yeah. So going way back to the origin story, the lead Dino days.
Yeah.
Well, I always like to combine two words. I guess if I go before that, my first software company was called Chrometa, but the first name of it was Time Tracking Buddy, and we had a little guy with a clock doing a march, and then I kept getting laughed at when I would cold call these law firms and say it's Brett with Time Tracking Buddy. So what? Okay, I'm sick of getting laughed at. We got to come up with a name.
Great.
And had an advisor, startup guy down in Silicon Valley. He's like, all right, you got to combine two words. Got to combine two words into one. It's got to be the domain. So we took Chrono for time and Meta for, and this is before I guess Facebook kind of devalued the Meta brand, but it was cool at the time. It was like Chrono and Meta and Chrometa, and that's how eight characters had the domain, so we're good to go. Lead Dino a little cheesier, but we would like to have it doing the leads, right? Lead generation, and then Dino is the engine. And then we went DYNO and the domain's available. You get it done.
Super.
And the rest is history. And then Afluencer, I'm trying to look. So we had our internal affiliate network was called ecommerceaffiliates.com, which is kind of long-winded. And that ends. So, of course, influencers were kind of the thing. I had been saying at Lead Dino that we did influencer stuff, although we didn't really have influencers. We just kind of did the tracking. And as influencer platforms started to come about, people start to call our bluff, be like, where are these influencers? Like, okay, all right, we don't really have them. These are links. We got to go get your own. Little did I know, a lot of these other platforms didn't really have the influencers either. They were just scraping online out there. So anyway, long story short, Afluencer, we try to, okay, we're going to do this. And we're going to get our own influencers. This is before the creator term. So influencer was the word. And then how do you pivot off of that and make something where it's self-explanatory, but it is not influencer something. The domain's available. It's not selling for $10,000. So put a bunch together. Afluencer comes up, and again, short enough. Domain's available. So we run with that, and that was that. And then the other term that we use that I swear to this day is Shopify borrowed from us is we did put the term collab in our app very early on.
Okay.
Our lead UI developer, he thought I was crazy. He's like, collab? Who's a collab? I'm like, no, I think it's a thing. It's going to be a thing, right? And then sure enough, Shopify buys an app called Dovetail. They rename it Shopify Collabs. And anytime you get me on, I insist Shopify took collabs from us. But again, I'm more than welcome to happy to share the term with them as they bring awareness to the collab mission here.
Absolutely, and that your foresight is actually a good turning point because you want them just a big name like Shopify like popularizing that comment. I'm sure you rank well for some of that there.
Every time I see a commercial on during the NBA Finals for Shopify, I smile. I do, yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. And that brings us to the sponsor of the day. Should be no surprise. It is Afluencer, collabs with micro and nano influencers. I preach and teach about this in my course, performancemarketingmanager.com, but go to dustinhowes.com/Afluencer to check it out and sign up. what's a pricing model that you have here, Brett? Like you can start for free, and then there's package deals, right?
Yeah, you can actually roll for free for a while or forever. To be honest, yeah, we've got it's a fully functional free plan. So you can get in, you can create a collab, you can field influencer applications, you can invite influencers, and then as you want to scale it up and invite more to your collab and get more exposure, then we've got flat monthly fees, so $49.99 or $199 a month, and they're all flat fees, and those are all inclusive. There's nothing else hidden, and basically just get you more exposure, more influencers applying to your collab, more invites, and just more general action.
Beautiful. All right. We got another question here, kind of a tough one to answer here from Mikkel, I believe. How do you see the distribution of revenue between content cashback and coupon websites? I mean, those are three. There's many more definitive publisher groups, if you will. But between those three, I mean, it's a little too general to give you a solid answer. I mean, there's some giant cashback sites, giant coupon sites, and giant content sites and publications out there. It just depends on the brand and what you value as a merchant. So, in my programs, I rarely work with cashback and coupon sites, but if I do, I hold a very select few that I allow into the program. But content sites all day in my program, so it's a very strong 90-10 or better for me. What's your thoughts on this, Brett?
Yeah, I was thinking the same. I was actually thinking 100, 0, and 0. Yeah, I don't see. I mean, coupons. Those were a headache in everyone's side since the lead dyno days, and you know the coupon sites, Dustin. So I'm sure you know those angles, but those were always a headache in terms of them just kind of scraping the last clicks for people, not actually adding. In terms of new customers, right? And same with the cashback. So it's in my world, it's all content. We want content created, and that's what's getting us ahead. It's just a tough game. I mean, I think if you're big, sure, maybe. I don't know. I was just thinking in terms of the underdog, and again, competing with the Dodgers, Yankees. How are we going to do it? We're going to do it with content.
Yeah.
We're not going to get there cashback coupons, in my opinion. It's got to be content. We got to better content. We got to more content. It's got to be organic, right? Genuine.
Yeah.
And that's how we're attacking this. Is we're doing the stuff that the big guys are scared to do. They're too bureaucratic to do. We're going out there, and we've got our minion army, right, of the nanos and the micros, and that's how we're doing it. And in my world, it's all content.
Yeah. And I will add, like I've used exploratory budget for many merchants in my time of managing programs, and I see the least amount of value in giving any kind of sponsorship money to cashback and coupon sites during their like heavy season, because it is a saturated field. Leave that up to the big brands to buy those, and they might see value in them, but with smaller brands, I rarely see anything come of those. You're much better suited doing some collabs with some influencers in this micro level. You're going to get better results in the long run. Thanks for the question, Mikhail. And then moving on to, let's see, what do we, no episode of Affiliate Nerd Out would be the same without talking about AI. And in influencer marketing, this is new ground for sure. Like in affiliate, it's pretty hot and heavy, but it's been around for a year or two. What are you seeing out there in influencer marketing and how people are using AI?
I think like in the respect that we were talking about with the engagement rate, right? So there are metrics, and we kind of redid our own ranking algorithm of our influencer directory, where as you apply the filters of what you're looking for, I'm looking for US based influencers with 5,000 or more followers focused on skincare. Then our user base goes from the 19 some thousand to 358, and then we rank the 358 from kind of the best potential fit for you. So that's where I see it going. We don't just let the robots twiddle on their own or their own devices, right, and come up with their own things or learning. But so again, we're reasoning through the algorithms on our end, but I do see there's a lot of value in terms of sorting, because you go to Instagram and you look for someone. I mean, there are so many creators, influencers out there today, in the millions, right, in the US alone. So sorting through and finding, right, that is a big thing. But that also is not just about finding like a pure data mining thing. You also need the person to be responsive, and that's where having them actually as a user of the system is a big advantage as well. So it's a combination of the things, but I do think from a algorithmic standpoint, it is very important, because none of us are looking to make this our full-time jobs, right? We're all wearing multiple hats. We're doing affiliate marketing. A lot of times we're doing the online marketing stuff as well. So we want the software to do as much for us as possible. And that's where I think this all dovetails.
Well said. I'm glad to hear that you're not going to be responsible for Terminator happening. It's not going to be on your watch.
We're not doing it. We'll let someone else. Yeah.
Okay. But it's coming though. Like the year that Terminator, I don't remember the year exactly, but it's coming up, and they might be spot on. We don't know yet. Calvin saying hello. Calvin Spikes, what's going on? Thanks for joining us. And the AI is scary. Do you have any examples of what influencers might be utilizing AI right now? I had a client maybe like 5 years back named Kicksta that would go out and take Instagram and go make comments on other people's Instagram and in tune help you develop more followers to your channel because they were associated to what you were doing. You see anything influencers are utilizing right now to improve?
I haven't seen anything yet. Now, I mean, that's kind of the core of what they're doing, to creating content and to outsource that. That's a big leap, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I do swear half of Twitter is I think are just AI written tweets that are tweeting at me about AI today. So I see stuff out there. I think the image creation is something that could be interesting, as you're seeing that release now, in terms of the AI being able to generate images, and images being a big thing on social media. But then again, now that we're getting towards the video, I could see it as an enhancement. I think it's tricky though. It's kind of like with SEO, where I have a hard time picturing a world in which robots are writing everything and then robots are ranking the same content, and there's just floods of this automatically generated stuff. I feel like it's the same on social media, where the automatically generated stuff. I mean, at some point there's gotta be human seed from the creation standpoint somewhere. So we're still seeing mostly human generated on the influencer side, and that could end up being a big differentiation as you have the human creative element versus the bots just kind of cranking out the stuff on the other end that kind of stands out. And of course, right, they're looking at something, and that's kind of the thing. It's like they take input from somewhere. They're not just coming up with this stuff, and they're scouring the net and scouring other social media accounts. So why not be the source of that? So no, we're still seeing on the influencer side. I mean, which would make sense to me, because that's the lifeblood of their business, is them creating. So to just outsource that would be a leap of faith, I guess.
For sure. I mean, there's effective ways to use automation, at least. Like people are going to use Social Sprout or Hootsuite for some of those social media management solutions and getting more content out in the world in a timely fashion. But as far as the AI goes, I think we're going to start to see artificial intelligent influencers out there that are a message completely driven and created by AI, and then the actual face and video of a character that looks pretty human, also explaining that. It's going to get scary. I'm sure there's out there. I don't follow any of them yet. Maybe I'll hold on tight and not do it, but we'll see. It's interesting.
2 for 2 on humans right now on this podcast.
Go.
Our guests and hecklers here, our heckle crew seems. If there's any AI generated bots, you fooled me out there.
Yeah.
Heckle crew feels human to me today.
Fantastic. All right. Appreciate you being here, Brett. Next week, I'm going to have guests Kelly Ground and Rob Schaub stop by for Into the Nerdatorium. If you would like to be a guest and join me on Affiliate Nerd Out, go to dustinhounds.com/nerd and fill out that form, and I'll get back to you. Brett, been a real pleasure. Thanks for being here, buddy. Appreciate all your knowledge on the influencer space, and we'll see you next time. Good luck out there.
Sounds great. Thanks for having me on Nerd Out, Dustin. It was fun.
All right. Take care, folks.